So in this video right here, I'm going to be showing all how to make the whiskey highball cocktail at home. And the whiskey highball is a classic cocktail. It is one of the rare cocktails that calls for just 2 ingredients. But don't let that fool you. With just those 2 ingredients, the whiskey highball still manages to be a well-balanced, amazing, and high-quality cocktail. And it is a classic cocktail that has really stood the test of time and is enjoyed in high popularity even today in the year 2026. If you're somebody like myself and you enjoy drinking whiskey on the rocks, especially when you're having a chill night at home and you're having great conversations with close friends and family, then the whiskey highball is a great cocktail to add to your repertoire. Because if you already enjoy whiskey on the rocks, this is something new that you can bring to the table. So the next time you're having that great conversation, those chill nights at home with your partner, your loved ones, your friends and family, and you already enjoy the whiskey on the rocks, then go ahead and do the whiskey highball the next time you're having that kind of event. It's really going to be another type of cocktail that really showcases the whiskey, and it's another cocktail that you can enjoy if you already enjoy whiskey on the rocks. So let's get right into making it. The whiskey highball calls for just the 2 ingredients I have here. That's going to be whiskey and sparkling water. And honestly, for the whiskey, you can use literally any type of whiskey out there. You can use bourbon, rye, Irish whiskey, Canadian whiskey, Scotch, Indian whiskey, or as is the case for me in this video, I'm going to be using a Japanese whiskey. This is a single malt Japanese whiskey that a close friend of mine actually got for my birthday recently, a couple months ago. And so you can use any type of whiskey there. I actually, for whiskey on the rocks and for whiskey highballs, these kind of cocktails, I actually prefer to use a higher end whiskey. I just feel like that creates for an overall better cocktail because this cocktail just calls for 2 ingredients and the other ingredient is literally just water. It's sparkling water. This cocktail's flavor is going to be determined highly by the exact whiskey that you're going to be using. So I really recommend that you use a high quality whiskey when you're making whiskey highballs, the same way you would when you're drinking whiskey on the rocks. And for the other ingredient, I'm going to be using San Pellegrino sparkling water. A lot of great brands for sparkling water, but this is one of my absolute go-tos. It's just readily available, especially throughout the United States and other parts of the Western world. Topo Chico is another great brand for sparkling water. So honestly, you can use any type of sparkling water you want. And for the exact ratios and the exact measurements of these ingredients, this drink is going to call for 2 ounces of whiskey and then 4 ounces of sparkling water. It is going to be a build cocktail. We're going to be building it directly into the glass. And as with all highball cocktails that I like to make, I always like to do the sandwich method. So what that entails is that you divide the carbonated ingredient into 2. You pour half of it first in the glass, then you pour all of the other ingredients, and then you pour the second half of the carbonated ingredient on top. So the carbonated ingredient essentially sandwiches the other ingredients. The other ingredients form the meat, the cheese, the vegetables, the sauces, all the other components of a sandwich. And the carbonated ingredient forms that bread, sandwiching everything together. I feel that this leads to the absolute best highball cocktails. I feel this is one of the reasons that when people come to my parties, they say, your highball cocktails, your Moscow Mules, your Palomas, your whiskey highballs, your rum and cokes, everything like that, the ones that I make, they're telling me that those are better than the ones they get when they go out to nice bars, when they go to lounges, when they go to different restaurants and things like that. They say that the highballs that I make are better than the ones that they get over there. I feel that the sandwich method is one of the reasons why. I'm one of the only people that does the sandwich method. I just feel that it leads to better incorporation of the bubbles throughout the entire drink. Most people either pour the carbonated ingredient first in the glass or they pour it last in the glass. And I feel that causes the carbonated ingredient to either layer on the bottom or the top of the drink. When you have it with the sandwich method, you get the carbonation throughout the entire drink. And I feel like that overall leads to a better highball experience. So let's get right into making the drink. I've already gone over the ingredients and the measurements. As I mentioned before, this is going to be a build cocktail. We're going to be building it directly into the glass. Before we pour the ingredients into the glass, let's go ahead and put a few ice cubes in there. I'm going to start with just 3 ice cubes. There may be room for a 4th one later on. And as I mentioned, this drink is going to call for 4 ounces of sparkling water. With the sandwich method, what that means is we're going to pour the first 2 ounces into the bottom of the glass. Then we pour our 2 ounces of whiskey. And then the final 2 ounces of the sparkling water. I think there actually is room for that 4th ice cube on top, so I'm just going to put that right there. And there you have it, the whiskey highball. Cheers. So anyway, if you found the advice in this video helpful, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I like to do 2 styles of videos on this channel. The first will be like this video, where I do a tutorial showing you all how to make a specific cocktail. And the second style of video will be a talking head style video, where I go over general advice about home bartending, share tips and tricks, share stories from my own journey, answer questions, and a lot of things like that I hope will help you guys become better home bartenders. And finally, if you really want to take home bartending to the next level, I actually have a paid community if you want to invest money into this hobby. And that'll be the first link in the description below. It'll be on school.com. That's all I have for today's video. Thank you. Cheers.